Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, but we live. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear.
Did you hear it? You got your song?
Y'all got it. It's time.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't hear none of what I heard, huh?
No, I didn't hear nothing what you heard. I just hear you talking
Okay.
though. All right,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead
here
with the
we
song.
go. We have heard with our ears, O God. Our fathers have told us what work thou didst in their days, in the times of old. How thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand, and plantest them. How thou didst afflict the people and cast them out. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm, and the light of thy countenance, because thou hadst a favor unto them. Thou art my king, O God. Command deliverances for Jacob. Through thee we will push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and hast put them to shame that hated us. In God we boast all the day long, and praise thy name forever. Selah. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of his holy word. Our scripture this evening is Psalms, the 44th chapter, verses 1 through 8. And we give all the praise in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, now I hope that the people on Blog Talk can hear you just as well as they can hear me. That's my hope. If not, we'll know what we have to do to fix this thing come next week. But this is our first time being live on YouTube, and we're gonna start doing video over here next week, actually. But what we're doing now is, we're dealing with the little proving ground. So right now we're checking this thing out to see what we need to do, how to tune it up and whatnot. But anyway, without further ado, we're gonna get into this lesson because either way it go, this lesson is going to be recorded. The title of the lesson is "Clo- being clothed, being clothed. Excuse me, be clothed in humility. Be clothed in humility." And one thing about humility is it's a word that's tossed around in the conscious community a lot. But do we actually understand what the word humility means? Do we understand what it takes to be humble? Well, a lot of times we believe that humility comes by reading and studying. Well, that's just one form of learning what humility is. But I'm going to show you that humility comes by way of going through things. Sometimes growing pains, sufferings. You learn humility that way. And a lot of the times people are not privy to that information. So over here, this is what we want to do. Make sure that you're informed on how to be clothed in humility. So we're going to start this in the book of Micah. We're going to start this in the book of Micah, the sixth chapter. Micah chapter 6. I actually like this Google Hangout thing. Micah, the 6th chapter. And we're going to pick it up at verse 3, brother. Micah chapter 6, verse 3, and then we're going to do some skipping. 6 and 3. Go ahead and read.
O my people, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me.
He said, O my people, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me. Now, we know who his people is. His people are Israel. So he's saying, what have I done to you? Bring forth all your strong reasoning and causes before me. If I've wearied you, then how? If I've been burdensome to you, then how? But he gonna throw something on the table for us to understand. Skip down to verse 6 and let's look at it. Verse 6, go ahead and read.
Wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old?
Shall I come before him with burnt offerings and the calves of a year old? In other words, sacrifice them? Go ahead and read.
Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000s of rivers of oil?
Uh-huh.
Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?
See that? Verse 8, what is it that he wants us to know? Go ahead.
He have showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to
Yes.
love mercy.
And to what?
To love mercy,
Go ahead.
and to walk humbly with thy God.
Want to forget when it comes to dealing with God. He said, but to do justly, this is what he requires, man. To love mercy. We know there's a lot of merciless people out here. And then to walk humbly with our God. How do we walk humbly with him? Where at? Do we do it in word only? Or do we do this in deed? And then this humility starts where? Let's go look at it. Let's go to the book of Colossians. New Testament, Colossians chapter 3. Colossians the 3rd chapter. See, nobody said it was going to be an easy walk. Now, I don't even read what the Lord said this thing was going to be easy. And neither did he say it was going to be overnight. You know, this take a lifetime to get used to and to work on. A lifetime, an entire lifetime. So Colossians chapter 3, when you get there, my brother, pick it up at verse 12. I'm the one steady searching. 3 and verse 12. Go ahead.
Put on therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness,
Yes.
humble mind, meekness, long suffering.
So now there we go. For he said, put on therefore as the elect of God. Elect means chose. You were chosen, right? He said, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies. Same thing that Micah was relaying, the message that he was relaying to Israel through God. Then he also said kindness. This is where the humility is supposed to be at. It's supposed to be in the mind. The body follow whatever the mind tell it to do. Not the other way around. It says meekness, same thing. Long suffering. Go ahead and read one more. 13.
Forbearing one another.
Yep.
And forgiving one another.
So now look, he said forbearing one another and forgiving one another, meaning we got to be able to tolerate each other's crap sometimes. Shortcomings. Provided that these people are sincere though, you know. Lord ain't say be no fool. You know, I ain't talking in that sense of putting up with each other's crap. Saying everybody ain't on the same page as the next person. Somebody might be a little more fine-tuned than the next. But you got to have some forbearance there, some forgiveness. Go ahead and read. If any man
If any man have a quarrel against any, even as
Yes.
Christ forgave you, so
Yes, sir.
also do ye.
So also do ye. But we talking about the children of Israel. We pointed that out first. Let's go look at what the Lord put them through. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8. Because I said earlier on when we started this, that humility come by way of going through things. It comes by way of going through some things. Experience, hardships, being tried, tested. And we're going to show you that's how the Lord is doing with Israel right here when they finna get ready to go through this wilderness. Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 8, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. It's not a long lesson. Deuteronomy chapter 8, pick it up at verse 1, my brother. Go ahead.
All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye
Yes.
observe to do, that ye may
Go
live
ahead.
and
Yes.
multiply, and
Yep.
go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your
Get the
father.
benefits of obeying the commandments. All of these benefits. He said, you keep that, you will live and multiply, go in the land and possess it. These are the benefits of keeping the Lord's commandments here. Go ahead and read too.
And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to
To do
humble,
what? To do what?
to humble
To
thee.
humble thee. To they long walk in the wilderness was to do what? To humble thee. What else? Go ahead.
And to prove thee,
Yes.
to know what was in thine heart.
They said I had to prove you with them 40 years of walking, to humble you, to prove and see what was in your heart. Will you get tired and say, hey, man, ain't enough water? Where's the meat? Where's the food? In fact, why'd you bring us up out of Egypt to die up in here in the wilderness? Go ahead and read.
Whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no.
Yeah, through all adversity, you're supposed to do what? Keep his commandments. And what does that provide? A sense of humility with you. Supposed to. But go ahead, verse 3, one more.
And he humbled thee, and
Yes.
suffered thee to hunger,
Yeah.
and fed thee with manna,
Yes.
which thou knewest not, neither did thy
So he
father.
said, so look at him. He said he humbled you and suffered you to hunger. That's why I say you got to go. Some things you have to go through in order to understand what humility is. Because when you don't have it and you can't, provide it, but then, at every turn you stuck in a rut, like they say, you can't do nothing but sit still. But when the Lord come through, now you understand, wait a minute, it wasn't about me, it was about him. How I understand what he mean. Be humble. But go ahead and read, brother.
That he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread alone, by bread only, but
Yes.
by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord, do it man live.
Right. So then Jesus quoted this over in Matthew, the 4th chapter. A lot of people might say, what, Jesus? Oh, man. Yeah, I call on the name Jesus. Because that's what the book say. I trust in the book, all of it. That's me. Your walk may be good. I ain't going to knock that. But over here, I'm going to read this name right here that I'll read. Trust me, this is what I've been dealing with and I'm going to deal with. But Matthew, the 23rd chapter. Matthew, the 23rd chapter. Oh, and while we on YouTube like this, we'll deal with the name game too over here, because we done did it a few times over on Blog Talk. So we're going to do it over here fresh, new. And guess what? The video pop up, you'll see the reader face and you'll see mine too. So you'll know who throwing out this information at you. And if you want to talk bad, you can do that. But you'll be able to see us directly. Matthew chapter 23. Matthew the 23rd chapter. And we're going to pick it up at verse 11. I want to look at something that Jesus finna say to I want to look at something that he finna speak to the, the scribes, the Pharisees at this particular time. And it's very, very important to this conversation that we're having as far as being clothed in humility. But pick it up at verse 11, brother. Matthew 23. Pick that up at 11 for me. Go ahead and read.
But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
So now, first of all, he wants us to know the one that's greatest among you shall be your servant. That's why you have men running around with the title minister. But a lot of them may not understand. I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people may not understand. That's all minister means, is to serve. But he said, the greatest among you shall be your servant. Go ahead and read.
And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased.
Yeah. Yes.
And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
So now look at what he said here. Whosoever shall exalt himself and shall be abased. So the one that want to stand up and toot their own horn like they doing something, you ain't doing nothing without the Most High God. Man can't even breathe on his own. Did we know that? You know that you have a, your alarm clock that's sitting on your dresser that in the morning, even when the sound is ringing. You can't wake yourself up. Man can't walk on his own without the knowledge of God. Do we know these things? Man won't even remember to feed himself without God's permission. I know that's a little heavy. We probably ain't even thought that far. But trust me, it's the truth. And I can read that you can't do nothing without him. But he said, whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, meaning brought low. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So the one that take the low now is going to be the one that's going to be exalted later. But let's look at the one where he started off with first, where he said the one that puff himself up shall be abased. Let's look at the example. Let's go to Daniel, the 4th chapter. I always like this one. Because while in the midst of this guy running his mouth, the Lord said, okay, really? I got you. Daniel chapter 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Daniel the 4th chapter. Daniel chapter 4, I'm sorry, Daniel chapter 4, pick it up at verse 1. We're going to skip a little bit in this, the book of Daniel, this 4th chapter. Daniel chapter 4 and 1, go ahead.
Nebuchadnezzar the king unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth. Peace be multiplied unto you.
So he's the king unto all at this particular time he was. And the Lord allowed him and set him up. So it says Nebuchadnezzar the king unto all people, and he's not an Israelite, nations, languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. Guess what? That means he have to know every language or be able to translate in every tongue what it is that he gonna say, because he's the ruler. Just a little food for thought for people that can't get over the language thing and the name thing. Skip down to verse 4. Skip down to verse 4 for me, brother. Go ahead.
I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in mine house and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me.
And that's how we are too at nighttime. If y'all ever really paid attention, a lot of the times, did you have dreams and stuff that bother you? Like truly trouble you? Like, man, what was that all about? So we can relate to this part of what this guy's saying. He said he had dreams. But go ahead and read.
Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream.
Yes, sir.
Then came in the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof.
Wait a minute now. He got a problem with that, because that is their whole reason of being amongst them within his kingdom, because they supposed to let him know the different things that he needs to know. Hey, if it's pertaining to some type of spiritual prophecy in his future. He want to know. That's why I got you around here. You magicians, astrologers, soothsayers, etc., etc. But we know the Lord forbid that among the children of Israel. But go ahead and read.
But at the last, Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And
Yes,
before him I told the dream, saying,
go ahead.
O Belshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secret troubleth thee, tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretation thereof.
So he want to know, and he's asking Daniel, and he acknowledging that he dealing with the holy gods. Ain't it? Ain't that what he acknowledging? And he know that you the one that got the interpretation of the dreams. Kind of like when Pharaoh, like Joseph was among Pharaoh. Not kind of, but the same situation. Skip down to verse 29 and read. Verse 29. Go ahead.
At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace in the kingdom of Babylon. The king
Go ahead.
spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty?
Pay attention, sisters and brothers, because when you start talking like this, talking about did not I, you might be getting ready to have yourself a problem a little later. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not be next year, might not even be 5 years from now. But guess what? You will meet the pavement pretty soon. Go ahead.
While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying,
Uh,
O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee.
pride, because he just did exactly what Jesus said in Matthew the 23rd chapter, 11 and 12, what not to do. He said, the one that himself shall be abased. Go ahead and read.
And they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They
Uh-huh.
shall make thee eat grass as oxen, and
Yes.
7 times shall pass over thee,
Go
until
ahead.
thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and
Uh-huh.
giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Wait a minute. So this is what the Lord can do. He can give the kingdom to whoever, Brother Rod.
Hmm.
Man, that's a strong God to sound like to me, right?
Yes, sir.
That sound like the same God that, like I had taught, not what was that, a couple of weeks ago on the Sabbath, the preserved word of God, the KJV. The Lord know how to preserve his word if he can make this guy fall down and do what he want him to do. How you gonna have all of this power and his might, but you can't control them from messing with your word? If you do, and I find out, I won't be serving you, period. I'm dropping any literature you got in the trash. That's me, though. That's how I get down. But look what he told him. He said that 7 times was going to pass over me, and he's going to be doing this for 7 years. But go ahead and finish reading, brother.
The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was
Uh,
driven from men and did eat grass as oxen. His body
yes.
was wet with the dew of heaven, till
Yep.
his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers,
Uh,
and his nails like birds' claws.
go ahead and read.
At the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and
Yes.
honored him that liveth forever.
Wait,
Whose
so the Lord had to allow him to come back to his right mind in order to do that. 7 years, this guy was reprobated for a minute. He wasn't in his right mind. His mind was troubled. Go ahead and read.
whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation.
So now he's acknowledging who? The God of Israel, ain't he?
Hmm.
So what's wrong with that? That means at one point he wasn't acknowledging, but the Lord put a whooping on him, and now he's doing what? He's learning humility now. Go ahead.
And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he do it according to his will in the armies of
Yes.
heaven and
Yes.
among the inhabitants of the earth.
Yeah.
And none can stay his hand or say unto him, what doest thou?
Now this is a Gentile here saying this. This ain't no Israelite. He running down the strength of our God, the Most High God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He running his power down to us. He said none can stay his hand. If none can stay his hand, who can take his literature and twist it up to where his people can't get it? Who? It's impossible to do that. It is gravely impossible to do that. Go ahead.
At the same time, my reason returned unto me, and for the
Yes.
glory of my kingdom, mine
Yes.
honor and brightness returned unto me,
Go ahead.
and my counselor and my Lord sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and
Yep.
excellent majesty was added unto me.
But that what that's what Jesus said in Matthew the 12th chapter. I mean the 23rd chapter and verse 12. The one that humble himself shall be what? Exalted. Now what did he do when he humbled himself? Excellency, his excellent majesty was added unto him. Go ahead and read.
Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven.
Yes,
All
sir.
his works are true, and his
Go
ways
ahead.
judgment.
Yes.
And those that walk in pride, he is
He's
able
what?
to abase.
He is able to obey. Whoever walk in pride, he said those. He didn't say the few that walk this way, he is able to obey. He said, and those, that's everybody. Everybody that walk in pride. Like I said, it might not happen a year from now, but 2 years later, 2 years from now, hey, it might happen. 3 years from now, it might happen. It might get all the way down to when the person on a deathbed and he deal with them. So now, let's go to Second Chronicles, 4th chapter. Let's look at something else. Second Chronicles chapter 34. Second Chronicles chapter 34. Second Chronicles chapter 34. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. But before you start, because I want to make sure ain't nobody trying to get my attention and let me know, hey, we can't hear y'all. Chapter 34. I'm going to mute my end, Ron, and I want you to read slow. Chapter 34, 1 through 5, but just read kind of slow. I'm coming right back.
All right. Second Chronicles chapter 34, verse 1. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 1 and 30 years. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the ways of David his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left. For in the 8th year of his reign, while he was yet young, he began to seek after the God of David his father. And in the 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places, and the groves, and the carved images, and the molten images. And they break down the altars of Baalim in his presence, and the images that were on high above them he cut down, and the groves, and the carved images, and the molten images he brake in pieces, and made dust of them, and strawed it upon the graves of them that had sacrificed unto them. And he burnt the bones of the priests upon their altars, and cleansed Judah and Jerusalem.
Okay, I just got a notice from the live callers on Blog Talk that they can't hear you. So I'm gonna have to dial you in from this Skype phone so I can let them hear you read just as well. So hang tight. I'm gonna dial your number.
All right.
It's 914, right?
Yeah.
46.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me, Ron? He left. Bear with me, y'all. 1 second. Let me get him to call my number. Call this number. 31. I mean, you already know the area code. 529 1533. Okay. Sorry, y'all. So sorry. Let me see here. We're waiting on Ron to call my number. Here we go. Hello. Yeah, you can hear me. How come I'm supposed to be able to add you on her? Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Resume this call, put the other calls on hold. Heck, I ain't did this in so long. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Ron, you there? I got it. Oh, okay. I think I know how to. Hold on, brother. Excuse me. Ron, just calling up, cause I don't know what the heck going on, man. It ain't, somehow it ain't, somehow it's still not doing what I needed to do. Matter of fact, cause I gotta figure out why it's not doing it. Just, call, just get back on this Google. They're gonna have to suffer. They're gonna have to, we gotta go and go through it this way for a minute. Okay, yeah, come back in through the. All right. Low technical difficulty. Hold on 1 second. If you can call 586 if you can go to the live stream, it'll be better until I can figure out, because I don't have the time to figure out trying to get him on that call. And I was thinking that maybe you could hear him, but I'll check all of that out later. But I'm gonna have him come back over on the Hangout board, and we're gonna do it from there. If you can hear me and you can get on the link and click the play and watch us live or hear us live, I suggest you do that one until I figure out this. Let me see here. Hold on, let me see. Okay, gotcha. Because that number is cool. I guess I should have. I see you. Right.
I'm back.
Okay. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 34.
Got you.
34 and 1.
Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem more than 30 years. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the ways of David his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left. For in the 8th year of his reign, while he was yet young, he began to seek after the God of David his father. And in the 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places and the groves and the carved images and the molten images.
Yes.
And they break down.
And you know what? Israel needed somebody like that, because Israel was filthy, man. We were dirty. You know, we were dirty. And we had king after king trying to clean up. A lot of them would start off doing well, and then they would just start falling off into wickedness, or idolatry heavy, as if the Most High never was even dealing with them. So this guy's cleaning up the place. But go ahead and read.
And they break down the altars of Baalim in his presence, and the images that were on high above them he cut down, and the groves, and the carved images, and the molten images he brake in pieces, and made dust of them, and strawed it upon the graves of them that had sacrificed unto them.
That's how you deal with the problem, ain't it, brother? Go ahead and read.
And he burnt the bones of the priests upon their altars, and cleansed Judah and Jerusalem.
You see, the Most High God don't play them games. When it's time to clean house, he clean house. Skip down to verse 14 and read.
And when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest found the book of the law of the Lord given by Moses.
Yep. Go ahead.
And Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan.
Yes.
And Shaphan carried the book to the king, and brought the king word back again, saying, all that was committed to thy servants, they do it.
Keep reading.
And they have gathered together the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and have delivered it into the hand of the overseers and to the hand of the workmen.
But look, a lot of people had money, and his servants didn't have money. But go ahead and read.
Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest.
Hold on 1 second. 939 on the switchboard. You ain't gonna hear Brother Ron reading. So go on my page, click that link, and you can hear us live through YouTube. If you want to hear that brother read. Other than that, you ain't gonna hear him right now. But go ahead and read, brother.
Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest have given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the law, that he rent his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, and Abdon, the son of Micah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Asaiah, a servant of the king's, saying, Go, inquire of the Lord for me, and for them that are left in Israel and in Judah concerning the words of the book that is found.
Yes,
For
sir.
great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out upon us, because our
Uh-huh.
fathers have not kept the word of the Lord to do after all that is written in this book.
Right. So now they cleaning, like I said, they cleaning the house. Listen, humility is on they part. Because everybody is fearing the Lord now after they seen what Josiah and them had done to the bad Israelites at that particular time. They had these graven images and all these different things around. But go ahead and read.
And Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to Huldah the prophetess, the wife of
Yeah.
Shallum, the son of
Uh,
Tikvah, the son of Harash, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college. And they spake to her to that effect.
so this
And she,
woman is a prophetess. And we up here seeing that when somebody mentions college to you, what does that mean? It makes you think one I know one particular thing is books,
yeah,
reading. She has some type of knowledge, right? And she's a prophetess, it said. Go ahead and read.
and she answered them, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Tell ye
Yes.
the man that sent you to me,
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the curses that are written in the book, which they have read before the king of Judah.
And we know where them curses are written in them, especially in them books that Moses had written. The first five, because his curses all up and down in there. If you do wrong, what'll happen to you? But go ahead and read.
Because they have forsaken me, and have burned incense unto other gods, that they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore, my wrath shall be poured out upon this place, and shall not be quenched.
Go ahead.
And as for the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, so shall ye say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, concerning the words which thou hast heard,
Uh-huh.
because thine heart was tender, and thou didst humble thyself before God, when
Wait a
thou
minute. Don't read right over that one. Don't gloss over that one right there, because he said, because thine heart was tender and thou didst humble thyself before God. This is what he required of man, like we read in the beginning when Micah brought it out, the prophet. Then we went to Colossians, told you that humbleness is supposed to start in the mind. You clean up the mind, everything else follows. Everything else. But the Lord took notice of what he did. Go ahead.
And thou didst humble thyself before God when thou heardest his word against this place and against the inhabitants thereof, and humblest thyself before me, and didst rend thy clothes and weep before me. I have even heard thee also, said the Lord.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will gather thee to thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace. Neither shall thine eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place and upon the inhabitants of the same. So they brought the king word again.
So now we understand what happened was this guy, and not just him, but all Israel at that particular time, they repented for the evil that they did, and they had humility, and the Lord was able to do what? He was able to spare. He was able to have mercy upon them. So now let's go look at something else. Because we just wanted to show you how a person can humble themselves and how the Lord take notice of that. Because it's written through all out the scriptures. You see pride and you see a spirit of humility. And we know the Lord gonna deal with that humility. But that pride, that fall in a whole nother category. You talking major destruction. So now let's go to First Kings, the 21st chapter. First Kings, the 21st chapter. Let's go look at this king here. I think everybody familiar with Ahab and his wife Jezebel, and no, she wasn't no prostitute or no whore. What she was a uh, what you would like to call a woman that had some type of priestess, prophetess type of spirit on her, where she was teaching a whole bunch of things she should have not taught. Period. That's what she was known for. Jezebel, we gave her a name. Well, pretty much the world gave her a name that and a title that didn't even fit her. They made her like the streetwalker or the prostitutes in the streets, and she wasn't. She was married to a man, King Ahab. She just bad doctrine. That's what it was. Killing the prophets of the Lord. Bad doctrine. But 1 Kings 21, pick it up at verse 1. I'm going to let you gloss through this thing, brother. Go ahead.
And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. And I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or, if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money.
Wait a minute. So this is a lesson too, sisters and brothers. You got to be careful of somebody else's vineyard you got your eye over, because just watch what he gonna do. Go ahead and read.
And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbidded me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee.
Now, I always say this every time we deal with this. I always say the conversation should have been over with after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ahab should have said, you know what, with all due respect, I respect it. Praise the Most High God, I'm up. But what he do? Go ahead.
And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased, because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had
Go ahead.
said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face, and would eat no bread.
Would eat no bread. So this guy's so covetous for this field that he willing to starve himself because he wants this field so bad. Go ahead and read.
And verse 5, but Jezebel's wife came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else,
Yep.
if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard.
Yep. So guess
And
what?
just
You also have to know your spouse too. And you also have to know the conversations you have with people, because I'm telling you, you give them the information to hurt somebody, blood is all on your hands. Not only the blood at them, but it's going to require that you, because you're supposed to know better. Go ahead and read. He shouldn't have rehearsed this conversation to her. He should have shut his mouth. Matter of fact, he should have went his way. But anyway, if you're going to weep about it, you should have never told her. Some people got them spouses, man, they'll go all out for you. And when they say, I will do anything, some of them literally mean that. They'll ride or dies. I slit their throat for you. Like, wait, what? I will. You like, wait a minute. I cannot tell you nothing that'll cause you to get cut off, and me too. If you get cut off, it's going to be by your own choosing. But me, I know to keep my mouth shut around you. Go ahead and read.
And Jezebel's wife said unto him, Doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat
Yeah.
bread, and let thine
Yeah.
heart be merry, and I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.
She said, I'm going to give it to you. Don't worry about it, baby. I got you. Go ahead and read.
So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letter, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people.
Go ahead.
Set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And then carry him out and stone him that he may die.
So now, I think I want to skip down because it's lengthy, but we're gonna get to the meat of the matter. Let's go down to where because she set up, they set him up, and they got him killed, and he gonna take the vineyard, and the Lord is displeased. Skip down to verse 20 and read. Let's jump into the meat of the matter. Go ahead.
And Ahab said to Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? For he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord.
Yep.
Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel,
Him that is shut up and left in Israel. Read.
and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like
Yep.
the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah.
And you
For
know
the
how both of them was, but you know how Jeroboam was. Jeroboam went and fired the priests, allowed the common people to become priests, made a golden calf again, turned around and had all kinds of idols, and caused what we call the northern tribes to go astray. Because he was king and he was Ephraimite. Go ahead.
for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin.
Yep. Go ahead.
And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel.
Yes, sir.
Him that died of Ahab in the city the dog shall eat, and him that died in the field shall the fowls of the air eat.
Yes, sir. So I don't know, Ron. It sounds like your thing screeching on your shirt or something. But it's there. So now he just letting us know what happened to Ahab. I mean, excuse me, Jezebel. But go ahead and read verse 25.
But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up.
Yep. See, the woman stirred him up. Sometimes the man can do it. Sometimes the woman can do it. But go ahead and read.
And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things, as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel.
Yep. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when Ahab heard those words that he rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his flesh and fasted and lay in sackcloth and went softly.
Uh-oh. So sound like he trying to humble himself. What did you think, brother?
That what it sounded like.
Go ahead and read.
And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, seest thou how Ahab humbled himself before me?
Wait a minute. He said, do you see him? How he humbled himself before me? Go ahead.
Because he humbled himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house.
So you still, anyway, either way it go, your actions got somebody cut off and got some evil brought up on him. But the point of the matter here is what he had to see some drama before he humbled himself. A lot of Israel is like that, man. You can't get it the easy way, but guess what? The circumstances around you got to bring about some humility. And it's sad that it got to cause a slew of people to get killed. But this is what happens. Because you know, we set on doing evil and mischief, man. This is how our people are. And when it's time to turn back, we don't want to hear nothing. Definitely don't want to hear from a guy like me. So wait a minute, you got a cold, don't you? I can't even. I don't want to hear nothing you saying. Yeah, you can hear me. You can hear me good enough. We read this book over here. Let's go to Isaiah 38. Let's look at somebody else I want to point out here. Great king, Hezekiah. This is what happens when you got humility and you can throw your resume before God. And once you throw your resume before God, he got to listen to you. Because he's righteous and a just power. He's righteous and he's just. And these are the attributes, the characteristics that we have to adopt. My friend, we got to adopt it. You can't be wild and all out and be your own person. You know what I'm saying? You can't not serving the God of Israel. You cannot. Satan servants, the God of this world, they can do whatever they want. Like Nike, hey, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Burger King, if you had a saying go over Burger King, you can have it your way. So, man, we got to abstain from this behavior. But Isaiah 38, pick it up at 1. 38 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Isaiah 38 and 1.
Uh-huh.
In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him, and said unto him, Thus said the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live.
Now, imagine us today. Most of the times we don't know when we're going to die. So, but he got warning that he's about to die. Go ahead.
Then Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Lord, and said, Remember now, O Lord, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and in perfect heart, and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore.
Hezekiah started crying. He wept sore. Go ahead.
Then came the word of the Lord to Isaiah, saying, Go and say to Hezekiah, Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will add unto thy days 15 years.
Hey, which one of us can say this happened to us? Sometimes it may happen. Maybe you don't know. You know, you go to the hospital for illness. Something that was finna cause you was near death experience or something, you know. It's ill to the degree of you finna turn over and hit the grave. You got brothers and sisters and people that care about you and they praying. And guess what the Lord say? You know what? Since that I heard their prayer, I'm add 10 years of your life. This happens still. It's just we don't know that it's happening. You know, sometimes we just don't know that it's happening. But if you know this God, you'll understand, because what we end up doing is we start counting, you know, like the world say, count your blessings. You jump up and like, man, I was almost about to clock out. But what was it the Lord looked at? He looked at you. You have enough room to grow. The Lord is merciful. But then he also knows when it's time to cut us off from being foolish too. So now let's go to Matthew, the 18th chapter. Matthew chapter 18. Matthew the 18th chapter. And my whole thing is I'm trying and I want to walk before the Lord in sincerity and in truth. Because I don't want to be cut off. And I ain't looking for no drama at the door. Matthew the 18th chapter, pick it up at verse 1. 18 and 1. We're going to read 1 through 6 for all those that's listening and taking notes. 1 through 6. Go ahead.
At the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
What, according to the book, what's converts a man? The law. It tells you that in Psalms the 19th chapter. In verse 7, the law of the Lord is a perfect converting us all. So what is it that's converting us? The law. It cleanses us up. It tells us what we're doing wrong. And then we start wanting to do what's right. So he's saying we need to apply ourselves like that. Go ahead.
Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
And because little easy to be taught, right? You can manipulate them too. They very docile, humble. They willing to learn. They ask a lot of questions. Carries nature. But I ain't telling nobody to go out there and be manipulated. I'm just saying the nature of a child. But go ahead and read.
And whoso shall receive such little child in my name, receiveth me.
Go ahead.
But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he would drown in the depth of the sea.
I don't know how they believe that this God and this New Testament is soft. He's talking about drowning people. It was better that a millstone was hanging around their neck, and they were drowned in the sea. They got a whole bunch of other ugly stuff that happened, but I don't know. Maybe people ain't really reading this stuff, man. But let's go to Isaiah 57. We're going to go to Isaiah 57 chapter. I want to show you something. The Lord ain't going to tell us to do something that he himself wouldn't do, or they themselves wouldn't do. Father, Son, I got to say it that way. And we're going to read about both of them right here. Isaiah chapter 57. Oh, give me some more notifications. If somebody can't hear, I don't know what to tell them, man. Oh, you getting in the first?
Yeah.
You still getting it now?
Yeah. It's just choppy.
On my end?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to try to do our best.
All right.
Is you still getting it?
Yeah. You want me
to...
Hello?
Yeah, you didn't change up. You ain't switch up nothing, did you?
Everything the same over here.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let me see.
I can hear you. It's just real choppy.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to do my best with it. Trying to do my best. Isaiah 57 chapter. Because I'm only on one microphone and I'm stuck. So I can't even switch up no kind of way. Hopefully it work out for the 57. Let me know if you can hear that.
I hear you.
Okay, 57 and verse 15. Isaiah 57 and 15. Go ahead and read.
Got you. For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabited eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble. And
so now we have the Lord speaking there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, Ron, how many individuals do you see being talked about here?
2.
Explain a little bit further about the 2, which you see here.
Well, we see one saying that he dwelleth with another one. So 1 and 1 is 2.
Okay. And both of them are of a humble spirit is what they're saying, right?
Yes, sir.
So that they can revive somebody, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure that we read the same thing. I had to throw that out there so my eyes ain't playing tricks on me. So it says to revive the spirit humble and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. He is looking specifically for those who can apply themselves and clothe themselves in humility. That's who he said he's going to revive. Not the prideful, but the humble. Not those that's pretending to be humble, but those that are truly humble at heart. So that shows that the Lord is not going to tell you to do something that he isn't. Let's go to Philippians chapter 2. Philippians, the 2nd chapter. Let's look at this a little further. Philippians chapter 2. Like I said, this is not a long lesson. So Philippians chapter 2, we're going to pick it up at verse 5. That's why it's important to have this mind frame here. Philippians 2 and verse 5. When you get it, my brother, go ahead and read.
Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus.
Wait a minute, right? So you got to have the mind Christ had.
Mm-hmm.
And I do too. And everybody that holds this Bible is supposed to have who? The mind of Christ. Ain't that what it just told us? Yes, that's what it just told us. Go ahead and read.
Who, being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God,
Go ahead.
but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men.
Go ahead.
And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself, and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross.
Now we understand what humility comes. What humility is humbling yourself unto obedience, whether it be unto death, whether it's just a slight little pain here and there and now. But the Lord says it's about obedience. And what happened when he humbled himself? Read verse 9.
Wherefore God also have highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name.
Wait a minute. So he highly exalted him. That backs up what Jesus said in Matthew 23 and 11 and 12. He said, the one that humbled himself shall be exalted. And they just said that Jesus humbled himself even unto death, right? And now he's saying that for him humbling himself, that he was highly exalted and given a name which is above every name. So now let's look at what else he was given. Let's go to Matthew 28 for his humility. Let's look at what he was given. Matthew the 28th chapter and verse 18. We're going to read one verse. 28 and verse 18. At his resurrection, Jesus Christ at his resurrection, at him appearing before the disciples, let's look at what he says to the 11. Go ahead and read 18.
And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
No matter where you at, where he at, he said, all power. That is totally absolute, isn't it? He didn't say some of my father's power, a smidgen of my father's power. He said, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Do we see how highly exalted this guy was? Do we understand the seriousness of this? Let's go to 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter. Let's add on to it. Let's see how highly exalted this guy really was for having humility. And this is the mind that he told us to have anyway. 1 Peter chapter 3. This is a test run, y'all. So if it sounds choppy and all of that, we're going to have it fixed up next week better. With our faces showing, Lord willing. 1 Peter chapter 3. And we're going to pick it up at verse 18. 3 and verse 18, we're going to skip. 1 Peter 3 and 18. Go ahead and read.
For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit.
So he died. He said he suffered for sins, the just for the unjust. He was just, we were unjust. That he might bring us to God. We needed to be brought back, redemption. Being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit. And we know that he was resurrected. We just read some of what he told the 11 when he was. Skip down to verse 22. Where did he go? Go ahead.
Who is gone into heaven,
Yes.
and is on the right hand of God, and authorities and powers being made subject unto him.
Then he just said, but that's what he said in Matthew 28. Then he said, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Here's a shot caller wherever he go. This is the exaltation that you get when you are obedient. Now, back, let me see, do you back up or go forward? Go to James, the 4th chapter, back up. James, the 4th chapter. James chapter 4. James chapter 4, read verse 8, and we're going to skip. 4 and 8. Go ahead and read.
Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you.
Yeah.
Cleanse your hands, ye sinners,
Yes.
and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
So quit being flip-flop. One minute I want to serve God, next minute I really don't. I'm not sure. No, he said, cleanse your hands, and we know it's filthy, full of sin and blood shed and everything else. Purify your hearts. That's what humility needs to be. The only way that we can purify our heart, he say, in Psalms 119, what will shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed taking heed according to his word. He said, purify your heart, and he called us double-minded. That's a straight up death. Jump up to verse 6.
But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisted the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
That's a true statement, because we've been reading where in each case that it was one or the other, or he resisted the proud like Nebuchadnezzar, or like he was dealing with Hilkiah and Josiah, and how he was dealing with Ahab, but then he brought the evil on his children down the line. Or what about Hezekiah when he was given grace? See what I'm saying? What about Jesus? Same thing. So we see the different examples of where the Lord will bless because of that. Read verse 7 though. Submit
yourselves therefore to God. Yeah. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
And that's what we need to deal with. Read verse 10. Go ahead.
Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up.
Because we're a down nation, period. But he said, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. He didn't say, rise up and start doing whatever you want. Fight against people, talk crazy. No. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. We have a problem with suffering and patience. Let's go back to 1 Peter, this time chapter 5. Going back over a chapter. A book. Chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 6. We're going to say the same thing James is saying. These two guys are saying the exact same thing. To the law, to the testimony, everybody's saying the same thing. But read verse 6 though. 1 Peter 5 and 6.
Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time.
Wait a minute, my bad. Humble yourselves, therefore. I'm looking at my notes while you was reading. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Ain't that what we just read in James? And they were all taught by Jesus. So that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be on one accord saying the same thing. Most people call it brainwash. No, we saying what the book is saying, all of us. We supposed to. If you got 10 people, same book, and they all saying different things, that's a problem. You read the romance novel about Jesse, and he loved a woman named Jill, and 5 other people read the same book, and one saying his name was Tony, and a woman name was Sarah. You're going to look at each other. The next person, no, I think that's read about a brother. His name was John, and a woman name was Rebecca. Everybody going to look at each other strange. How are you reading something totally different? We all got the same book, same language. Unless we all got a comprehension problem. But jump up to verse 5, read it.
Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility.
Now stop. He said, I want you to be subject one to another. Elder or not, everybody who is around each other, iron sharpens iron. Period. We subject ourselves one to another because the Bible, this is what governs the body, the word of God. And we have one Lord over us, Jesus Christ. And then we got a Lord over him, which is his Father. And our Father too. But go ahead and read.
And be clothed with humility. For
Yes, sir.
God resisted the proud
Yes.
and giveth grace to the humble.
You guys almost parakeeted one another. They said the same thing. But now let's go to Second Chronicles, the 7th chapter. Second Chronicles chapter 7. Let's look at how seeing that something that the Lord allows Solomon to petition him for, and when he petitioned him, the Lord said, "Okay, I'll grant you what you're asking." And we use this to this day. And the Lord listened, and he acknowledged what Solomon asked for. Second Chronicles chapter 7 and 12. Whenever you get there, you can go ahead. Second Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 12. Go ahead. You with me, Ron? Oh, I don't hear my reader. Oh, he dropped off for a minute. I'm going to read it. Second Chronicles chapter 7 and verse. You back with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. 7 and verse 12. Go ahead.
Second Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 12.
Yes, sir.
Thus Solomon finished the house of the Lord and the king's house, and all that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of the Lord, and in his own house he prosperously effected. And the Lord appeared to Solomon by night, and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer, and have chosen this place for myself for an house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves.
Wait.
And
first thing is they got to do what? They have to humble themselves. This is top of the list. And he said, which are called by my name. Do we know that God's name is Israel? What? His name ain't Israel. Yeah, it is. I got a whole lesson to show you that it is. He said, which are called by my name. What is this people's name? Israel. Our forefather name is Jacob. It was changed to Israel when he got adopted. When you adopt children, you give them your name, don't you? He adopted Jacob, which in turn, he adopted all of his seed, which in turn, the Lord called us his firstborn. Implying that there'll be other children coming. But these are my firstborn. And my firstborn are the ones that I got over everybody else. But that's another lesson. Go ahead and read.
If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land.
He said, but until you do that, humble yourselves, I will not. So you can put on all the garments. You can put head coverings on. You can street teaching, yeah. But if humility is not in you, guess what? He ain't got nothing to do with it. Period. Go ahead.
Now mine eyes shall be open, and mine ears attent unto the prayer that is made in this place.
He said, that's what I'm going to do. My eyes, my ears, and attent unto this that is made in this place. Where? Jerusalem. Where and by that temple, right where that temple was, he said, stand and face Jerusalem. That's why we all petition the Lord there. And it's easier. So that's why we turn to the east. We don't worship no sun or nothing else. We worship the Lord, and then we turn to the east. We head to bed. So now let's go to Proverbs, the 16th chapter. But we saw humility was required for him to hear us first. Proverbs, the 16th chapter. And this is just a little bit, because we can lay on plenty of lessons, plenty of scriptures to further prove the point on this, but you don't need a slew of scriptures. All you need is a little bit to get the point across. The Lord said, he that have ears, let him hear. All of us got ears, but spiritually speaking, he says his sheep, they hear his voice. But Proverbs 16, read verse 19, 16 and 19. Let's just throw some wisdom of Solomon out here after we done heard him praying. Go ahead.
Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud.
Yeah, instead of being out in the world and breaking laws and doing those things, and they divide the spoil, spoil riches, the gain, but everything to gain and prosper. He said, better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly. Your downtrodden, your people that you around are downtrodden, man. And they all trying to walk and serve the Most High God. He said it's better to be that way. Let's go back up to chapter 15 and verse 25. Chapter 15, same book, verse 25. These are just little one-liners or tidbits. 25. Go ahead.
The Lord will destroy the house of the proud,
Yes.
but he will establish the border of the widow.
So he ain't lying. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud. Nebuchadnezzar felt their wrath. Ahab, wife, and all the rest of them, they felt their wrath. Proud. He will destroy it. It ain't if or a matter of, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Because the time will come. But now let's go over to Revelation 16.
Revelations.
Yes, sir. I know I'm kind of choppy, y'all, but bear with me. Maybe I need a new microphone or something. Maybe because I'm hooked up with this Skype too. As far as the show go, blog talk, I don't know. But Revelation 16, pick it up at verse 7.
And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments.
Yep.
And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which had power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory.
So you do have some that, guess what, when they so proud, they rather die than to give God glory. These men, they gonna take themselves and go be bound in a lake of fire versus repent. Some people are just that hard. Go ahead and read.
And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain.
Yep.
And blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds.
Evil deeds, they said, we're not going to repent, and they continue to blaspheme. Even though the Lord was jacking them up with the pain. Skip down to verse 21 and read.
And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great.
They didn't repent either. But jump up to verse 6 and see why they were suffering these things. Read verse 6.
For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy.
They whooped on them because they did what they love to see the murder of the prophets and the saints. So they said, guess what I did? I gave them blood to drink. In other words, I was killing them. And he said they were worthy to die. Let's go to our last one, just showing you how hard a person can be. Let's go to Psalm chapter 9. That's why he tell you in other places, even in Revelations. He that is filthy, let him be filthy still. He that is holy, let him be holy still. Because every man got to work out his or her own salvation. Ain't no sense of me running up on you, beating you down, trying to turn your head off, insult you and all that. Hey, if that's the route you choose, that's between you and your God. Who am I? I'm just trying to make it there, like you trying to make it there. At the end of the day, we're gonna see who gonna make it there. We can make it there. But Psalms chapter 9, read 10 through 12. Psalms 9, 10 through 12. When you get it, go ahead and read.
They that trust, they that know thy name will put their trust in thee. For
Yes.
thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee.
You're that. The ones that know thy name will put their trust in you. For thou, Lord, has not forsaken them that seek thee. And that's the truth. Go ahead.
Sing praises to the Lord which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doings.
Go ahead.
When he maketh inquisition for blood, he remembereth them. He forgetteth not the cry of the humble.
You look at that. When he maketh the inquisition for blood, listen, when it's time for me to require the blood for the sins that you have committed and you will not turn, guess what? I'm going to remember somebody, though. Which ones? The cry of the humble. Because Isaiah 57 told us that he was looking to revive the spirit of the contrite ones, the spirit of the humble, to save them. That's why he's saying he ain't going to forget the cry of the humble. But the ones that committed sins and hated him, he said he got some pain for them. But guess what? Most times, going through things, we learn humility. And this should be our clothing, first and foremost, when we get out of bed. It's putting on humility towards each other as well as God. So with that being said, I hope y'all listening got something out of the lesson. Be clothed in humility. And Lord willing, we'll see y'all again Thursday and then again next Tuesday. This is our first time doing this over here on YouTube, so it's going to get better. And again, y'all going to see faces come Tuesday. The readers and minds, and that's the reader don't want to be seen. So if you want to add something, Brother Ron, you can. Because I'm all out of breath on this one.
All right. But once again, just want to thank everybody who tuned in with us. And like the brother said, this is a new format for us, so we got to make the proper adjustments. And bear with us. That's all. And those who are listening via the blog talk, I believe if you go to the archives, well, no, the YouTube. I think you can hear me on the YouTube version of this lesson. So you just may have to switch over to the YouTube lesson if you want to get this lesson in detail once again. But like we just said, we back here next Thursday and next Tuesday trying this thing again for the Lord. So once again, we appreciate your patience, and we're so grateful for you taking time out your day to journey through the Word of God with us and get some edification out of these holy scriptures. And like the brother said, with that, we're gonna bid everybody a good evening.
That's right. So we're gonna say peace to everybody. Don't hang up yet, Ron.
All right.